Welcome back everyone, where I monetize here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my current state here in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Fiona. I'm going to be also going over Celsius and if there's any updates there with the bankruptcy procedures, and then I'm also going to be going over the price of Bitcoin and letting you guys know whether or not I have purchased Bitcoin back, because you know that I basically sold all of my Bitcoin quite a few months ago. So I'm going to start with Puerto Rico. I have been without power, I think it's been either 2 or 3 days, and I'm losing count. So I think it's actually, I think it's just been 48 hours since I lost power. My roommate literally said, every time the lights flicker, my heart drops, and 2 seconds later the power went out, and it never came back. Okay, and so I actually waited 24 hours for my generator going. I just have a small 2,000 watt generator to run like the refrigerator, put some lights on, charge my devices, plug in the internet, things like that. So I don't run the generator all the time just because it's not really necessary. I haven't had water in, I feel like it's just been like a day and a half without any water, which honestly, no water is worse than no electricity. And so I woke up this morning and there was a sign of water. There was a little trickle, enough for me to rinse my body. So I rinsed my body, and then I got in a really tough workout in, and the air conditioners don't work. So I literally sweated so much during my workout. I went back to go take a shower, and there was no water pressure. So thankfully I have a few friends that have access to water, so I might be heading over there. But fortunately here in San Juan, we were not hit hard. It wasn't too bad, but unfortunately there were areas of the island that experienced flash flooding. People could potentially be out of water and electricity for months. It's a really sad scenario. Puerto Rico, just the infrastructure, unfortunately, is not very strong. Before Maria, after Maria, and Luma is like the most worthless power company that has ever existed. And so, like I said, I'm super grateful that my situation isn't that bad. Not being able to take a shower, people are experiencing way worse issues than that. I have food, I have water, capturing rainwater to flush toilets, things like that. It's like glamping, basically. But it could always be worse. Okay, Celsius. When it comes to Celsius, we're waiting. October 6th is their next court hearing, and they have been pushing back when they're basically going to come out with a statement that says how much they owe each of us individually. And you're probably only going to need to file a claim if what they state is different than what you believe is correct. I believe this already happened with Voyager, and it was like 99.9% accurate. So the odds of you having to file a claim form are probably pretty low. I'll give you guys more details after October 6th, but currently there was still nothing that you need to do with Celsius. So that is the good news. You haven't missed anything if you are someone waiting to get your funds back from Celsius. And I feel more optimistic now than ever before. Alex has finally broken his silence. I really just watched a few minutes of him basically saying that this is a very different bankruptcy, and that us, the customers, are coming before, like, we are the biggest creditors. We're going to be prioritized getting our funds back. I think that's accurate. I haven't really fact checked him. I'm just not digging too deep into the Celsius situation. I'm just waiting for key moments of when we actually need to take action, and that has not come yet. So let's go ahead and go over the price of Bitcoin. And let's try to figure out where the buying opportunity is going to come. So this right here is, let's go ahead and back up to the 7-day chart, which in my opinion is one of the most important charts in Bitcoin to look at for long-term positions to enter. Bitcoin is currently sitting at $19,283. See, after this 4 candle right here, I thought we were going to see a 4 candle pullback and then some more room to the upside, but Bitcoin has been extremely weak, and that has not been the case. So Bitcoin is getting close to making a lower low here on the weekly chart, and obviously we know this low came in at $17,567. So I think that a critical point on Bitcoin will be when this green crosses over the red. It will not be the bottom, but in my opinion, it's going to be a clear, it'll probably be a few $1,000s off of the bottom, a clear point of when to get back in. Some people think that Bitcoin is not going to go below the previous low, but I don't believe that to be true. I think overall Bitcoin is still massively correlating with traditional markets. 70% of all Bitcoin trading is institutional trading, and all markets are kind of going in the same direction. I anticipate everything to fall significantly more and for Bitcoin to follow. So I think that it is likely that we see Bitcoin go to $13,000 to $14,000. But honestly, I would love to see it fall down to 10 or below. I am hoping that Bitcoin literally, the further it falls, in my opinion, the better, because I am in cash and I am ready to buy back in. You see, after 20,000, there is just not much here. There is not much support build up between there and like $16,000. But I think we're going to go down more in this range, 13.5, 14. I saw a tweet. Let me go ahead and see if I can find it. So it was a tweet from Willy Woo, and it put things into perspective about how many people are in a losing position. And it basically showed the percentages of the previous market cycles, previous market cycles, and where they were at in terms of where the bottom came in. Okay, the question, have we bottomed? In terms of max pain, what does max pain mean? Max pain means like more people that are underwater. So basically, everyone who has bought above the current price. Okay, so in terms of max pain, the market has not felt the same pain as prior bottoms. This feels true. We can see this in the blue line, supply and profit. Okay, I'm not, honestly, this chart's it's not super clear to me, but this is just the main point right here. We have only reached 52% of coins being underwater so far. So 52% of Bitcoin in circulation were purchased basically above the current price. And this was, for reference, this was posted on September 14th. So we're at 52% of people being underwater. The previous market cycles were 61%, 64%, and 57%. So that just kind of proves it to you. But the truth is, history doesn't need to repeat itself, especially in the modern era with futures hedging available that is not picked up on chain. If we do get a repeat with max pain reaching 60% of the supply underwater, that price is currently at $9,100 and slowly drifting upwards with time. So a really interesting perspective when it comes to, like, everyone's trying to predict the bottom. I've seen so many tweets where like, oh, the bottom is in because blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, I mean, in my opinion, Bitcoin is not acting like it's hit a bottom. And in my opinion, if this was the bottom, Bitcoin would not be where it's at, so close to that bottom again, in my personal opinion. So, like I said, 7-day chart, if you're looking for a long-term entry, I believe that is where it's going to happen. If you take the high, we are currently 46 weeks from the all-time high, and if you would like to compare that to the previous market cycle over here, basically the buying opportunity came in over in this range. Let's see here, and it was basically about a year. It was basically about a year where that massive buying opportunity came in. So, like I mentioned, what we could expect on this coming up chart, so that puts you here, right? This right here was a bottom buying opportunity where that low came in at $3,128. I am taking out the March lows from this equation because COVID was something unexpected. But with the current times that we're living in, I guess that something crazy like that could happen again. So like I mentioned, that was the buying opportunity. But as you can see, the green didn't cross over the red until over here. So this was that buying opportunity of $31.26. But if you waited until that moment to purchase, then you'd be purchasing at about $3,800, okay, to $4,000, basically in that range. You would not have gotten the bottom, but you would have been in profit immediately, and within a few months, your position would be up about 250 to 300%. So, I'm hoping to accumulate in this range, but I'm going to probably be going all in as soon as I see that green crossing over the red. So this kind of just gives you the idea of what I'm kind of seeing here on the charts. And so if we go back to, I said what, 40, did I see 46 weeks? That would put us around here. So I'm anticipating a big drop, honestly, like this one, before we start seeing Bitcoin, you know, basically having a massive momentum shift. So let's go ahead and check out the daily chart here on Bitcoin. This right here is the daily chart, and we are on an 8 candle, and the daily chart has made a lower low. So yesterday, the lower low came in at 18,255, really bad. Daily chart looking extremely, extremely weak. I would not be touching Bitcoin with a 10-foot pole at these price levels. 12-hour chart, also looking extremely, extremely weak. This right here is a 4-hour chart. You know, if it can hold the low here, that'd be great. But this chart right here is not giving me any signs of a momentum shift to get back into Bitcoin. I would not be confident getting back in there. This right here is a 1-hour chart. I mean, I like this green 2 going above the green 1, but still, this is not anything that I would be interested in touching right now. This is a 30-minute chart, which is looking okay, approaching making a higher high, but not quite there yet. So we have Ethereum sitting at 1368. We have gold sitting at 1663. Coinbase sitting at 6927. And mostly everything is down in the Bitcoin or the crypto space today. And then as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, you know, traditional markets must be down. And indeed, yes, they're down. And then I'm like, okay, let me guess. Marijuana stocks are down. Yep, marijuana stocks are down. Tilray sitting at $3.16. Last time I checked, Charlotte's Web was sitting at something crazy too, like 60 cents. Did I lose it here on my chart? I don't think. Oh, this Charlotte's Web, did it get delisted or something? Sitting at 59 cents. So I think there's going to be massive opportunities across the board. If you're in cash position, wow. We're obviously seeing a huge shift when it comes to the housing market as well. We're seeing stats that reflect the year, 2008. So obviously I think the housing market could fall in a different fashion. I was young and really unaware, but it really felt like it was from one day to the next that the housing market collapsed in 2008. That's how it felt to me from basically a sophomore in high school. It felt like from one day to the next. And I don't know what it felt for someone that was watching the markets daily and analyzing things. But this feels like a slow progression, kind of like the signs are all there, but I don't really sense the panic from your everyday person, which is really interesting. So that's all I have for you today on this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found it useful. If you want to get started with iTrust Capital and get yourself a Roth IRA, which is a really great way to protect yourself from big taxes in the future, I have a link down below, and this is a really great company that I definitely recommend. So that is all that I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.